Hello, horror fiends, and welcome to Guess What? You're Wrong, the podcast where we dive into all things horror and spoil the hell out of every movie we discuss. With me, Big D, as your host, be prepared for a terrifyingly good time. From classic slasher flicks to contemporary horror masterpieces, we're going to explore the genre from every angle that we can and leave no stone unturned. Horror, prints, and shine. New conversations, same podcast. So buckle up, bonehead, because you're going for a ride.
Enjoy the show!
Now, before we get into this episode too far, I just got a little disclaimer here. First off, all audio used in this podcast is used under the protection of fair use. And as with all the movie reviews that I do here on Guess What? You're Wrong, we're going to spoil the hell out of every single thing we talk about. So, you have been warned. October came and went. The spooky season, which I love, is gone. November, wow, it came and went as well. It's Thanksgiving. Today is Thanksgiving Day. And with that, we have a special episode of Guess What? You're Wrong. Now, today, we are tackling the 2023 Eli Roth Thanksgiving. Let's get into the show.
Gobble, gobble, motherfucker.
Hello, and welcome back to another axe-wielding, turkey breast slicing, and also some thigh slicing.
Oh, God.
Episode of Guess What? You're Wrong. Now, today, we have a special treat. This is a special episode. This is not scheduled, nothing like that. This is a special Thanksgiving episode. And for this special Thanksgiving episode, we have Kelvin joining us.
Hello, hello.
And let's just get it over with, okay? Gobble, gobble, motherfucker. All right.
Terrible, terrible film. But this is a level above.
Yeah. So what we're going to talk about today is actually Thanksgiving from 2023, the movie from Eli Roth. Oh, I forgot to actually watch the trailer again. I was going to watch that. Well, what the movie?
Yeah, I guess. But
Now, this movie, Eli Roth. So a synopsis. After a Black Friday riot ends in tragedy, a mysterious Thanksgiving-inspired killer terrorizes Plymouth, Massachusetts, the birthplace of the infamous holiday. Kind of, if you know your history. Kind of.
so the whole thing with this, the trailer you were talking about earlier, it was a Grindhouse trailer in like 2011, and it was a 80s movie, a trailer for an 80s movie that was very, very violent and very, very well, like in the lore of the universe of that movie, it never got actually released.
Yeah, I know that wasn't there a few trailers in that movie that they were just there for the Grindhouse effect.
Yeah,
But people were like, wait a minute, when is that coming out? And it was Eli Roth was like, well, shit, better make this movie, I guess.
and he says that this movie is, since that one did never got released, this is like the reboot of that movie. Because then that obviously it's not set in the 80s, it's 2023, which it kind of needed to be. I mean, I said that before, and when you see the movie, you kind of need to set it in.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of notes the movie because I was too busy watching the damn thing. And normally, when I'm going to do a podcast, I try and watch it at least twice. That way I can take some notes. But I don't have any notes except what's in my head. Now, I know when the movie opens up, the first thing that I gathered opens up, you see two different families having Thanksgiving.
See, I missed this part. I've seen this movie twice now, and I missed that part.
So we have two different families,
I missed this, by the way, twice. I've seen this movie twice, and I missed the beginning. Like, I in right when Bobby and Jess get in the car, and they go to the Right Mart. That's basically...
Party.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be going to a movie.
They're going to go see a movie. Yeah.
And, so right at the beginning, we open up with a family that's more modest, middle income type of family, having things or getting ready for Thanksgiving dinner. And one of the guests of honor is the sheriff. He comes in, who was played by
McDreamy, dude from Grey's Anatomy. I don't know his name.
I don't even see him listed here.
Which is kind of insane because he's,
Wow. He's the main character. I don't know. I'm looking for McDreamy. I don't see him.
I mean, his name isn't. I don't think his name is McDream.
What?
That's what people call him.
I was looking for McDreamy this whole time.
Patrick Dempsey. That's his name.
Patrick Dempsey. I know who that is. So yeah, Patrick Dempsey is the guest of honor at this, the middle income dinner, and we have the wife of Ty Olsson, who plays Mitch Collins. The wife is she's famous too. Who was the wife? She's not listed here either. This is kind of messed up. She had some plastic surgery done, but still very familiar.
Gina Gershon.
That's who it was. 80s people know who Gershon is. Oh, yeah.
I mean, I know of her. I've seen her face. I've never seen anything with her in it.
This is a family. I mean, you have this Ty Olsson who plays Mitch, Gina Gershon who plays his wife, and the sheriff, which I guess is like a family friend coming over for Thanksgiving dinner.
I mean, family friend.
Yeah. We find out more later, but then it switches over to the other family that's having Thanksgiving dinner, and they're the rich upper class family. They're the owners of, what's it called? Right Mart? Is that what it's called?
Right Mart.
Right Mart. And there are, the fancy, they got the whole...
By the way, I kept thinking S-Smart. Like, every time we were in there, I kept thinking S-Smart.
shop smart, shop Right Mart kind of deal.
Yeah, exactly.
But they're all sitting around, they got their family, they're all dressed up too, except for the one daughter, who is Jessica, played by Nell Verloc. Yeah, that sounds right.
I've never seen her or anything, but she did good in this movie. I liked her. She
was kind of cute.
She was like
young. I hate when I say that because I'm like, she's kind of cute.
But you feel bad about it because
she could be my daughter. Oh my gosh, dirty old man. But I didn't say she was hot. She was just kind of cute.
Yeah,
so that's different.
It's redeemable.
But right away off the bat, this is what I got. We were going to have a type of class warfare type of movie because they're showing the differences between the two families and how they're celebrating Thanksgiving. I was kind of in for a surprise.
Yeah,
there was more to it. I'll say it does stick along the class lines a little bit.
Yeah.
But they are blurred so much that I got a bit of a surprise.
Especially once you get in the beginning, once the Black Friday scene hits.
Oh my gosh. Just going to that.
See, like, it's so funny because, like, going into the movie, I was like, yeah, it's a Thanksgiving movie. But Jared, one of our friends, he told me, you got to see that opening scene. And I was like, okay, I'll make sure to stick around for that.
I didn't, I've seen these Black Friday
things happen in real life, yeah.
I've never seen them happen in real life. I've seen them on TV.
Oh, no, yeah. You've seen it on, YouTube.
And I've been to Black Friday events, but nothing ever happens. Everybody's just like, okay. They go in there and buy their stuff and they leave. Mm-hmm. But then I see on the news, oh my gosh, 5 people were slaughtered and killed over a cabbage patch or something like that. I'm like, I've never seen anything like this scene. These people were going nuts.
Yeah, no, like
over a free waffle maker.
Yeah, dude, that was the one dude who got his right when he walked through, he got his throat sliced. He's grabbing the waffle iron while he's dying. I'm like, you idiot.
They see that the crowd, the rich kids, one of the daughters' dad owns the store.
Yeah. It's
Right. Their last name is Wright.
I can't remember the actor's name. I just know him as Louis Litt from Suits.
That is, I just saw him.
Oh yeah, Rick Hoffman.
Yeah, Rick Hoffman.
He's in Hostel, the first Hostel movie.
I haven't seen that in a while either.
One time, yeah.
I got a friend of mine actually April Hunter, that I interviewed. She is a fan of Hostel. And I was like, man, I remember watching that movie, but it creepy. I didn't want to travel.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I was like, no, I don't want to do it.
It's a little messed up though. I've never seen any of the other ones, but that first one, yeah, that's the movie.
So what are you drinking over there, Kelvin?
It's a Voodoo Ranger Imperial IPA.
Spectaculous. Time for bad shine, baby. I'm just saying. But so we get into this Black Friday scene of this movie,
and
it is
consumerism does to people.
I'm telling you, this is beyond consumerism.
Yeah, this is.
Well, we see early on. There's a group.
They just have no thought of any other people around them.
No,
they are just only going for the waffle iron or whatever they're trying to buy.
Well, you see that there's a main group that we see that eventually they get killed up at the front, that are like the antagonizers. They're fighting. They're constantly fighting. And then when they see the rich kids going through the back door because the daughter, she has a key. Yeah. The one kid throws a fit and he starts screaming, "Hey, what about them?" And he starts riling up the crowd even more.
That kid, he's a big part of the problem because he's the one that grabs the megaphone and tells them that it's open.
It's open.
Yeah, so he's a big...
And when he does that, okay, the rich kids got inside. Now they were supposed to go in. The guy wanted to get a phone, and
because his phone got
and they were going to get something else, chat or lipstick.
A lipstick, yeah.
But it was supposed to be secret. They were supposed to go in, get out.
Mission.
But the guy, what's his? I don't even remember.
I don't know, the teenager one.
The one kid that we were saying that you glad that he kind of died because he was a dick.
Oh, his name was Evan.
Evan.
Yeah,
he goes up to the front and he's like, "Hey, look, I got a phone." He's mocking crowd.
Yeah,
that he's in there, and that's when the guy grabs a megaphone and tells him it's open. It's open. And they had locked the doors and everything.
Yeah, dude, man, that one poor security guard.
And
so he locks the doors, right? And people are already still running at the thing. And so the wife of one of the store workers, Ty Olson, she tells him to unlock the door.
Gina Gershon.
Yeah. He goes to unlock the door, but the glass is already cracking. And the moment it just falls on him, and the people just start. And
they stomp him. I mean, they trample him. And it's just like.
Then that one guy who's running through gets his throat sliced.
Yeah, and he gets his throat sliced. He's bleeding out, dying. But he makes it over to grab one of these fucking waffle irons.
It's like, are you serious?
Now he's dying, holding on to this waffle iron. Somebody comes up and takes it from him.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, dude,
that's insane. Instead of, I don't know, getting like your shirt and like trying to like, I don't know, stop the bleeding, you're like, I gotta get this waffle iron.
This whole scene is filled with a bunch of fucking idiots. And the stuff that happens here, I'm like, Gina Gershon, who she's pretty famous.
Mm.
I mean, she gets knocked, and she's the wife of Mitch Collins.
Yeah, one of the guys who works at the store.
Yeah, who got called, and forgot to mention that he was at home, wasn't supposed to work on Thanksgiving. He was with his family, but he got called in because somebody else.
Okay, see,
was gone.
I missed the beginning, so I didn't see that part.
Yeah, he was at home with his family. He was supposed to have a good time.
I'm not even supposed to be here today.
Yeah, he wasn't even supposed to be there. But he's outside trying to calm the crowd down. He told them to lock the doors so that way nobody could get in. But then Gina Gershon's on the inside, and she's like, "No, you got to open the door. You got to go get Mitch."
Mm-hmm.
And that's when the security guard
goes to try
to open the door, and you see the glass start splintering. Dude, and these people go fucking nuts.
And then poor Gina, she's on the ground already because she's got pushed over and stuff, and then a shopping cart just.
Yeah. I mean, she gets knocked over. She gets hit in the head with the shopping cart. Did she die at that point?
No,
I just kind of hurting.
I think she was dead. And then to make matters worse, her hair was stuck in the shopping cart wheel and it got ripped open.
And it like gave her a little bit of scalping. It was, oh my gosh. I got to tell you too, and it didn't look like I don't know for sure, but it looked like they used a lot of practical effects.
Oh yeah, no, dude. When
and that looked weird. That was good.
Yeah, that was bad. When poor Bobby, when he gets his arm like just stepped on, that was gross. That was gross. I felt so bad.
Talking about, Bobby was one of the rich kid teenagers.
Yeah, he's a baseball player about to go to college for a pitcher.
And he sees the security guard is under the door. Yeah, they called him Golden Arm. And he was like, he wants to get out and help the guy.
Yeah.
So he's crouched down protecting himself and his girlfriend, who is Jessica.
Who's the main girl.
Yeah. And he starts getting up, so he puts his hands on the ground like you're trying to push yourself up. And this crowd just falls over and steps like right. They don't even step on a joint.
Yeah, no, it's like right here. It's like, I don't know, it's like right here.
It breaks the bone, breaks
his, because the way he has position is the problem. Because like I think he's in the middle of movement, and because that
it was terrible.
Yeah.
But so he's down for the count.
Oh, and then there's the only other people we see on our team is Julia, who's Scuba's girlfriend.
Yeah, Scuba.
She gets dropped on the ground, and him being the hero he is.
Yeah, he just jumps over. Yeah,
he's just trying to
lays on top of her, kind of trying to protect her.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have that. What's it?
The
Evan?
idiot Evan. The whole time, instead of I don't know, getting his girlfriend out of there, instead of helping his friends, he's just filming the whole thing.
Yeah, he gets out. Earlier in the
his girlfriend's phone.
Yeah,
because his phone was broken, which is why they were in there in the first place.
You need to get a new phone. And earlier in the movie, they're talking about he punched some guy from Hanover, and what's her face? His girlfriend was too busy filming herself, and instead of filming, so he gets his opportunity. He wants to go viral.
He wants his 15 seconds of fame or whatever, or 15
minutes of fame. Yeah, so he jumps up on a countertop and he's recording everything as it's going down. But guess what? That's the only video footage that makes it out because the security cameras mysteriously went out.
Not working.
They didn't. Yeah, they didn't work.
That
so
giant massacre of a day.
Nobody knows exactly what happened there. But that happened on Thanksgiving. Because
a year later passes.
Yeah, well, it's supposed to be Black Friday, but now they're like, oh, well, everybody shops on Thanksgiving anyway. So that was Thanksgiving Day.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a year later. We have this massacre. We have this this shit show. Basically, is what happens. I mean, a year later, it's coming up Thanksgiving time again.
Yep, already there.
And the store is planning on doing their Black Friday.
They got more security this time though, so I'm sure it'll be fine.
We forgot to mention the one security guard that.
He's the
Manny.
He's the
Tim Dillon.
Yeah, he's a comedian.
Comedian.
He ran off. He dipped.
Yeah,
he said, and
honestly,
you know what? I don't blame him. I don't blame him.
If I was out there in that crowd, now if I was one of the guys that's inside with a girlfriend, I would have done my best with my girlfriend.
Oh yeah.
But if I'm a security guard outside, I'm like, no, fuck this, I'm out, dude.
And I got nobody else that I care about here. I'm be like, all right,
pay me minimum wage for this shit, you know.
Yeah,
I'm not sticking around. I'm not dealing with these crazy people
I
here.
just saw the other security guard get stomped on. I'm good, man.
Yeah.
I'm good.
I'm out. But so it's a year later, and this Black Friday. You know, the only reason why I mentioned this earlier when we left the theater, the only reason why the dad, what was his name?
Oh, Rick Hoffman. I can't remember his actual.
Rick Hoffman.
Just the dad. He's the dad.
Yeah, he's the dad guy. He was the dad, right?
Yeah.
But whatever. His last name was Wright. The only reason why he agreed to stay open on Thanksgiving was because he's pussy whipped. His new wife was like, we can make more money by opening up on Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah.
So he agreed to it.
Yeah.
That was the only reason why. Because they were supposed to be closed that day, and they were going to show up the next morning for Black Friday. And eventually, later on, you know, he gets his balls back, and he's like, "No, we're closed on Thanksgiving."
Yeah, he later on he apologized to his daughter because he realizes that he was just mourning his past wife. You know, so he just needed something there. You know.
Yeah. What happens to the? Ooh, we'll get to that here in a minute.
A year has passed, and all our characters are still there. The only person who's left is Bobby. He just straight up ditched Jess.
Yeah, he ditched everybody.
Yeah, like specifically, he ghosted her as his girlfriend. He just never texted her again.
He just took off. You know, I wonder. Okay, now I don't know. That's kind of suspicious.
Well, no. Later on, he tells her, he says, "I blamed you because of what happened," and now he's like, "I feel stupid about it now, but at the time, that's why I left. It's because I blamed you."
Yeah, okay.
And I get it. I buy that.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, I'll buy that. I'll buy that for $1.
Oh, but now, guess who she's dating? She's dating. His name is Ryan. Ryan. Oh, no,
Bobby's the one that left.
Yeah, Bobby's the one that left. He's
her boyfriend.
He's the short, curly-haired baseball player.
Jalen Thomas Brooks is his name. Now she's dating
Ryan, which is Milo Manheim.
Milo Manheim. What a fucking name, Milo.
It's funny because he's in the new there's a Christian movie about Jesus' birth out right now in theaters, and he plays Joseph, I guess, right? That's his dad, or his dad.
Was it a new one out?
Yeah. It's out right now.
Didn't know that. I don't keep much unless it's horror related. I really don't know. I really don't.
I have to because I work there, but I work at a theater. So
I like a lot of historical movies, though. I mean, I like.
Yeah, but it doesn't look very historical. It just looks like just the story of his birth.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, it's just the manger, like that stuff. Yeah.
Anyway, so where were we at in this movie? I drank too much already.
I mean, year later, right now she's dating Ryan because Bobby left.
Oh yeah,
and Ryan, him at the very beginning of the Black Friday scene, he's just, you can tell he's trying to get with her.
Oh yeah,
for the very beginning.
Yeah, he's trying to get it right. Let me get you a front row. Let me get you right in there. He's guiding her through because her boyfriend Bobby is kind of a local star.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Like, everybody's, hey, let me get a selfie. Hey,
he's golden arm, man. He's got the golden arm.
But now this guy, he's a smart guy. So where we had Bobby was the athlete. She's now with a smart guy. And we find out later on that he's also an Adderall junkie.
Yeah, I mean, hey man, he's also got money because he got money. He bought Steeler something tickets, like some football tickets.
3 of them.
Yeah, 3 of them. Him
at
for
the 50-yard line.
He's got money. He's got money. Clearly, he's buying Adderall.
I know kids still did that.
What? Oh no, it's a huge thing in the college scene for sure.
Is it?
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I was always tired in class
compared to everybody else.
And it took me so long to get my degrees.
Compared to everybody else who was on Adderall.
Everybody else was like, "Yeah, A+," and I'm like, still hungover,
just drinking coffee.
But so, what's the first death?
Oh, the first death is Lizzie.
Lizzie, Amanda Barker. Now, she played a pretty big role at that first
The Black Friday.
Yeah, the Black Friday riot.
She's
I guess you could say.
technically.
She was hand in hand with the other guy.
Yeah,
The other guy with the megaphone. She was the other.
She was technically the one that killed the one dude's wife.
Gina Gershon, yeah.
Because they were the ones that were slamming the car into her head.
Yep. She is. And so the first, we have a year later, and they're setting up their Black Friday deal. There's a lot of controversy where people are saying, "Oh, we don't think you should be doing this because what happened last year," and they're saying, "Well, no, we got more security. We'll be fine." Well, they're also handing out these old
John Carver masks.
Yeah. If you're a kid from the 80s and early 90s, you remember these plastic masks that we used to buy for Halloween. They're like plastic. You know, you had the Hulk, you had Superman, all these different
I
plastic.
still have them now sometimes. Like Chewbacca, most of the time
Yeah,
it's a plastic mask.
Yeah, but now they're more nostalgia-based stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody hands out these, what are they, Carver masks?
Mm-hmm. John Carver.
I guess they hand them out. As long as you're a customer at this restaurant, you get something, they give you a mask.
Yeah.
So they're handing them out to everybody because it's a huge deal. I don't know is John Carver an actual guy in history?
I honestly, I have no
I don't even know.
Think of it. John
Carver, Plymouth.
Yeah, former governor of Plymouth Colony.
Oh.
So it's and it looks like the mask.
That's kind of fun and creepy there.
Kind of looks like a Jesus kind of figure.
So he was an actual historical figure. We found that out now. So everybody wears these masks now. So the first kill scene that we have somebody dressed up as a pilgrim. Obviously, it's in
Plymouth.
It's in Plymouth, so there's a lot of people dressed up like pilgrims.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
But this guy just slips on the John Carver mask, and he's got something. I saw something. He had something covering the back of his head, like I don't know, like a hoodie or something, because you couldn't tell his hair.
No, yeah,
I kept looking.
He had a balaclava.
Yeah.
But you can see through his eyes. But yeah, he had a balaclava here.
And that's what I was like, I couldn't see his hair. I was looking at see how long his hair was and stuff.
You know what's weird though? So there's a scene at the diner, and whenever Ryan comes in, there's a moment where she looks out the window and there's a guy staring at her with the mask on.
Yeah.
But you can see his hair. And it doesn't look like the guy who we find out who it is. So I'm like, who? That was just a random dude just happened to be staring at her.
And this is the year later. Now, was he actually staring at Jess, or was he staring at Lizzie? Because this is the next scene where Lizzie gets killed.
Yeah, Lizzie gets killed. Yeah, so he's going after her. Maybe, who knows?
That's what I was thinking. At first, when I saw it, I thought maybe he was staring at Jess. But then after you see this next kill scene, he kills Lizzie. I mean, cuts her in fucking half.
Oh, yeah. No, that part was messed up, but the thing that got me was when her face was stuck in the freezer. And she had to rip
herself off. Yeah, there's the whole scene with her, the killer chasing her through
the kitchen, like the back kitchen of the
kitchen,
diner.
And then sticks her head in a sink full of water, and then opens up the freezer and sticks her face. And anybody that's seen A Christmas Story knows what happens. When you stick something wet on something ice cold, her face just stuck. And he went to get his axe because he has this historical axe that was hanging up in the Carver house. He sharpened it all up. They showed that whole scene where he's sharpening it all. Now, he went to get his axe and he's coming back to kill her. She pulls her face off of the
hands.
Yeah, and just rips the skin off. And you're just like, I got to tell you, this movie's filled with a lot of those scenes where you're like, God damn it, hurts so bad. It hurts. I got to stop.
I'm like squinting almost. I'm like,
but she makes it out. She runs out and she grabs
her purse.
She has the wherewithal to grab her purse before she goes out. But her keys are gone, dude.
Because he grabbed them.
He grabbed her car keys. And she's out there digging in her purse for her car keys. And how did he get in the car so quick? Well, he's a serial killer. He's a slasher guy.
Yeah, he's got slasher power.
He's got Jason Voorhees powers.
He just teleport places and instantly change clothes as well.
He's in the car, turns it on. You see the high beams come on. She starts running away. He slams into her.
I guess her plan is to just jump in the dumpster and hope.
Yeah, well, if she would have made it, she probably would have been okay. Well, until he got out.
Yeah.
But she tries to jump in this trash dumpster.
It's open. So the moment he crashes into her, or into the trash can, it closes. And she's about halfway through when it closes.
Cuts her in half.
Yeah, you just see all her organs and
intestines. Now, that had to have been digital effects.
Yeah, for sure.
That had to have been digital.
What wasn't was when you see it on top of the right Mart star, and it's just a set of legs with organs spilling out, which is on there.
All you see is the sheriff saying, cover that body up, until they pan up, and it's Lizzie's bottom torso stuck on top of the star, with guts, like intestines hanging out.
There we go. Okay, I was wondering where Plymouth is. Massachusetts. Yeah, of course. That makes sense. Yeah. But their accents in this movie are insane. Because I've never...
Some of the accents were not... Some of those accents sounded like New Jersey accents.
Yeah, I think, maybe those people were moving around. His accent specifically, the sheriff's. Yeah. I didn't know what he was doing. Like, I've never been to Massachusetts, but it was insane hearing him talk.
I was just working there. I was in Baltimore, Maryland. I wasn't in Massachusetts. Never mind. Look, people are crazy.
Oh, wait, yeah. No, I remember you telling. Yeah.
So that's the first death scene. I mean, we're a half an hour into this podcast. We just got to the first real slasher kill.
Yeah, slasher kill.
But it builds up quick.
Yeah. No, yeah.
And who's the second one?
Oh, okay. So the second one
is the comedian.
Yep. Get to him. And in between that happening, basically, you just see the kids again. They get a post because they keep getting posts on Instagram.
And this is why it's important that it took place.
Yes, now
currently,
because
of how they do this.
Yes, because he keeps getting they keep getting tagged on these posts where it's like this Thanksgiving table set up, and on each of the plates is a card with somebody's name, and it's the kids. It's most of the kids, the dad and the stepmom, I believe.
Yeah. Well, at first, I think they can only see like 3 names.
Yeah, because more pictures get added. Yeah, more pictures get added. It sends to them.
And it looks like a nice table. You're like, wow, that'd be kind of cool. I wouldn't mind sitting down for Thanksgiving dinner at that table. That's kind of cool.
The next pictures where you see the upper half of the lady sitting at the table.
Yeah.
And they're like,
and the comedian Manny, Tim Dillon, you see his head sitting on a plate and that upper torso of Liz. He's sitting.
Yeah, just sitting in the back. Yep.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
His death was one of the ones where I was like, I don't know. It was nothing like insane. She just kind of got stabbed by a turkey carver.
Yeah.
That was about it.
Well,
the really cute thing though was
he cut his head off. Yes. And then as he's leaving, he puts the head in
his little bag. He's leaving.
And the cat's
like, I need food. And so he feeds him, pets him a little bit.
But then as he's leaving, it's an electric turkey knife.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And as he's leaving, you hear it go, it moved a little bit more.
It's still going in him. Yeah, probably.
I was like, wow, dude, that kind of messed up.
For a fact that cat's going to drink some of that blood. That's not that.
Well, there's stories. I've seen stories in the newspaper all the time.
Like you don't feed a cat and like the owner's dead, they'll eat it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Cats, dogs, any animal. If you have an animal and you live alone.
And you die.
Your animal's going to eat your body.
Yeah, because there's nothing else to eat. And then once they get through that, they're most likely.
They're going to come in. Well, sorry,
Like, hey, man, I loved you, but you're not here to feed me, and you're dead.
Hungry. And you know what the bad thing is that after that happens, they put those animals down.
Yeah, of course, yeah, because they're,
it's not their fault.
Yeah, no, they needed to eat.
We're getting off track.
Yeah,
I feel bad for those animals.
Yeah, so do I. Yeah, they don't deserve that. They really don't.
Okay, so where were we at? Who died last?
Tim Dillon died. The comedian. He got his head cut off. It's on the plate now, or it's on the not plate. You know what I mean?
That was a plate. Yeah, the head was on. He put it on the plate.
I can't. I couldn't remember.
There's a lot of people. Karen, her last name is actually Cliche. Karen Cliche plays Kathleen. She's the stepmother.
Yeah,
she just created this. And honestly, it's because of her that all this shit happened.
She's the one that deleted the footage.
Yeah, she deleted the footage, but it was also her that was pushing to be open on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So if she never would have come into the picture, period, Thanksgiving probably would have been pretty nice. There would be no movie.
Ooh. Okay, and then
this is pretty damn strong.
For sure, after that one dude dies, what's his name? The comedian.
Yeah,
comedian dude.
Manny. Dylan Manny. Yeah.
And then that's when we get to the scene where the sheriff is getting more information about the people who were there at the. From Jess and from Bobby.
Yeah, because Bobby shows back up on the scene. He ghosted everybody, but he mysteriously shows up, wants to walk with Jessica.
But that's when he explains to about what happened.
I blamed you. Blah 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 blah. Oh.
Go inside, talks to the cop, and then that's when she goes to get the footage the footage that's still left on her dad's computer.
Oh yeah, they break into that.
Yeah, so she gets that. She gets some photos.
Yeah, and what I don't understand is why not just get a flash drive? She prints out some pictures. Mm-hmm. You're rich. Get a fucking flash drive. Throw all the video footage on a flash drive and just take that.
It's a movie. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. And
that's exactly what I was thinking too. When she was, I was like, put on a flash drive. Put on a flash drive.
Again, she for the movie's plot, we only really need them because we need to see the people that were there.
Yeah.
And the sheriff specifically needs to see the people that were there. And so he sees the two teenagers, the two from Hanover, the ones that got punched.
Yeah.
The cheerleader and the jock. And then we go to them, to their high school. We see him like doing a bunch of like drills for the workouts for all the other jock guys. And his girlfriend's like, hey, come on, let's go have a little fun. So they go to the gymnasium and we see the trampoline. And she starts jumping on it, doing her little, sexy escapade or whatever.
I knew that they were going to die.
Yeah.
I did.
Oh, for sure.
mean,
yeah.
But I'm always hoping, I'm like, oh man, just at least, I know you're going to kill the guy, but let him get a little pleasure beforehand. No. There's no pleasure to be had. This guy, and he was horny. He wanted to go out there and, are they in high school?
Yeah, they're in a high school.
Oh man, I really feel bad now for saying that she was cute. But they're actually probably like 30 years old.
Oh yeah, no, they're all 30-year-olds for sure. But while she's up there jumping, you see him, just having a good old time watching, getting ready to watch, and then he's not watching. She starts,
are you ready? And she starts pulling down her panties.
Yes, true. And she does a split as well.
Yeah, she does a split on the trampoline, starts pulling on her panties, and she has her back toward him.
Yes. So she's not seeing
what happens to him.
Because he's staring directly at her, and then his face goes 180 because he just grabs his head.
But his body doesn't change.
Yeah, no. Same. His neck just looks like a slinky. Just turned around.
Turned.
And she's not noticing any of this, and she's still jumping up, and again, this dude's real quick, real fast. He somehow just gets under that trampoline within like 5 seconds. And then the moment she jumps, she's just jumping with her feet up, and you see the blade come down up, and she stabs her foot. She freaks out.
You said that there was something like this in the trailer, right?
So in the Grindhouse trailer, you do see it's pretty much this, but his heads get twisted, and instead of her getting stabbed like multiple times in the body and in the leg, you see her do the split. She's going down while doing the split, and the knife comes up, so she gets stabbed.
You know what happened?
Yeah.
And that's in the trailer. And I saw that trailer, but I saw it when the Grindhouse movies first came out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I haven't actually seen them since. Maybe that'll be an episode sometime in the future. But that's what I thought was going to happen. Because when they open up, when she's on the trampoline, she does the splits. And then later on, while she's jumping, you see that knife. Oh, dude.
Yeah. But I was glad they didn't do that because I felt a little gross.
It does feel gross. But I think
no matter what, it happens to. She was getting stabbed.
She got stabbed everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, you're on a trampoline. She came down. She got stabbed in the foot. She's still bouncing.
She fell.
Gets stabbed in the leg, and then she gets
body in the back of the head. I think 'cause her mouth starts spewing blood.
Yeah. So I think the way they did it in this one is more effective because she keeps bouncing.
Yeah. And the last one, it's just she literally just drops and that's it. Yeah. It just
that was in a trailer. So. But so that's 2 more down. I mean.
And then I think after that is when they're at so they die. So they cancel the game. Yeah. And then Evan
is pissed off. I'm going to go play the game by myself.
And Scuba's like, you can't play a game by yourself, dumbass. He's like, watch me. And he goes to the field.
I'm like, dude, are you that much of and he is that much of a dick.
Yeah, no, yeah.
And I know people like that in high school, and I just want to punch somebody now.
But so, the game's canceled, so they go back inside to go change. Evan and his girlfriend.
Scuba and Yulia.
No. Scuba and Yulia are outside. They're doing...
that's right. It's Evan and his girlfriend that go inside. What's Evan's girlfriend's name?
I know it's Addison Rae. I know that. I don't know what her character name is. Gabby.
Okay.
So Gabby.
Wow, IMDb's no fucking help at all in this movie. What the fuck?
Yeah, no, it's IMDb's doing bad.
IMDb, get your shit together. Oh, I'll stop using you. Probably not, but it's a good threat.
But they're in the school. They're about to go get changed, and man, this is kind of fun.
Are they going to get changed, or are they going to
get jump scared? Because man, in the
I jumped.
I think it got me the first time too, but I see the second time. I was waiting to see how it happened.
The thing is, they're walking down this hallway, and all you see is just like janitor's mopping bucket thing with wheels. And you're like, oh, okay, and just It's a jump scare.
And then just,
Out of nowhere. It's just like, and the guy is there. Yeah, I jumped.
He must chloroform them or something because they're not killed. They were kidnapped.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I was like, later on, you find out they're not dead. When this happens, you think they're dead.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
And you're like, oh, shit. Okay. And then Jessica's like,
She gets a text from Gabby saying, come here.
oh, she goes down and she sees that, it's like a clothing bin or something like that. One of those things that they put dirty clothes in. And she goes down there and she finds the phone in there. And the guy tries to kill her.
But she sees the reflection.
Yeah.
And she's able to dodge it.
She gets out because, you got to have that strong female character. And I don't say that to be mocking. When you're watching a horror movie, there's always a strong female character.
There's always the final.
You have that final girl. Yeah. There's not a final guy.
Sometimes there is, depending on the movie. Like Get Out. Get Out he's a final guy, but that's a different kind of horror situation as well.
Yeah, We're looking at slasher movies though. You have a final girl.
It's a final girl. Yeah, exactly.
So when I say that she was strong and she did.
Yeah,
she outsmarted this guy.
She did a good job too. Like the actress, I've never seen her in anything else. I liked her.
And I can't say I like her because she was supposed to be in high school.
There's a.
Let me look up her age first, and then I'll tell you if I liked her or not.
She gets to run away at some point from him, and she sprays some what's called
hairspray.
Yeah, hairspray in his face, and she's able to get away. And so they don't
even have her age on here. They just have she's 5'11" 3/4. 3/4 matter. And they have a post to her Instagram account. They don't have her age.
She is
no Verloch. Go on,
she's
but
she's 23.
Yeah, see.
Yeah.
I don't feel too bad then.
Weird though. She's my age basically.
Yeah.
But so they're outside. The two friends are kidnapped, and it's Jess, Scuba, and Julia who are outside when Julia's dad, Arnold Schwarzenegger, comes out of nowhere and picks her up.
Well, up to this point here, I knew that her name was. Heard him say Julia.
No, they usually say Julia. They've been saying Julia the whole time.
Have they been?
That's what I heard. But then after that moment, they start calling her Julia because at that moment is when you realize I guess she's Russian or something. Yeah. I thought it was funny. But she said they're going to go move to Florida.
He's like, get in the. He didn't say get in the car.
He says something Russian.
He says get in the Mercedes.
Yeah, he does. He says get in the Mercedes.
He didn't say get in the car. Get in the Mercedes. He's got. I don't even know I don't remember what kind of Mercedes they're driving. One of them SUV looking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Obscure. I don't even know. They're paint. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a Mercedes car, but
it's an SUV. It's very expensive and. Only rich, snobby people drive them.
I'm gonna be honest though, Julia was a nice girl. Maybe her dad wasn't great, but
yeah,
she was nice. I don't know, man. He gave that cop all that food,
Yeah. Well, and the cop died right afterwards. Yeah. So, did he really do anything good there?
But so they're leaving, and that's when Scuba's like, "All right, we gotta take stuff in our own hands." So he goes to the.
Did forget to mention this guy's actually been in the movie the whole movie.
Yeah, true. His dad is like the guy who I guess is the firearm dealer around town. Like he's the one who sells guns. And so earlier on, you see him.
We find out that he was a war vet as well.
Yes, in Iraq. Yeah, true. And he jokingly, he's like trying to offer the kids to buy guns, but he's like, nah, actually, I'm trying to sell alcohol.
This fucking guy.
He's like the classic.
I knew people like that when I was in school.
He's the classic local like dropout stoner dude.
Yeah.
But he's actually helpful in this movie.
He's not very helpful actually.
He's a nice guy genuinely because they go up to him and they need a gun, and so he goes through a whole bunch of lists. They pull out a Desert Eagle and it's a 45 Magnum.
The Desert Eagle's a 50 cal.
Yeah.
And
it was gold too. It was gold.
And for anybody that knows anything about firearms, a 50 caliber bullet is what they shoot off of the top of Humvees and
snipers.
And sniper gun rifles. They use 50 cals because they can go through metal, go through tanks.
Yeah, it's funny. I think he makes that joke.
I put that in a handgun.
It's funny. He makes that joke. He says he's like, you don't really need that unless you're trying to hunt a bear or you're in the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's like, finally, he's like, can I have something like for a normal human? And he just gives him like a basic pistol.
I gotta tell you, Kelvin. We know. I don't even know what's this guy's name.
I don't know.
We should know his name.
Yeah, I liked him a lot. We didn't get his name.
I am.
Yeah, this is so. Right.
IMDb sucks, so leave it up to Kelvin to find out who this is.
Oh, that's not high school. That's the thing. Like, they're not giving you a whole bunch. Oh, wait. Okay. I think I found him. Yeah, his name is Joe Delphin, and the character's name is McCarty.
Okay, so McCarty is the guy that is that typical stoner dropout guy that everybody knows from high school.
Yeah, everybody knows him.
There's always, it doesn't matter what era you come from. When you were in the 20s, you still knew somebody like this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
He is throwing a party, charging entrance fees for anybody that can pay it. Doesn't matter how old you are.
Yeah.
He's got kegs upon kegs and liquor upon liquor.
He's also got the
And his dad is the one that's the local firearms dealer.
Yes. And he's got this, I can't remember his name. I think his name is
that short guy.
The short kid. I can't remember his name. I can't find it either.
And if you can't find it, just call him a short kid.
Yeah. He's like the nerdy short kid, and
he was very short, but you could when they put him against other people, he was just like
related.
At least 3 shorter.
But he's there working with him as well. This VIP. I wonder if he's related.
He was doing
I wonder if he's his brother, because he's also on the float with him with his dad. So I wonder if
he was.
He might be his brother.
He was security.
Yes, him. He was security.
While we have old dude sitting back drinking beer, just watching as people walk in. This short guy, 5'3".
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's funny too that you have that scene with the 4 like high schoolers come up and they're trying to get in. They're like, "This is really worth it."
I don't think they were high. It looked like they were junior high school.
Yeah, they were young.
Like middle school for I'm old.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I used to be junior high.
Middle school. Middle school now. They were like, hey, this is a clue. When I was growing up, my friends told me, when we go in here, do not ask them if it's cool. Just go in.
Yeah.
Because if you ask them if it's cool or not, they're going to know you don't need to be here.
Yeah, you're not cool. You're not cool. Because if you're asking if it's cool, you're not cool.
Yeah, you don't need to be here. So,
but
that's exactly what these kids do. They come up to the door. Is this party worth the money we're going to pay?
And then he gives them a whole speech about Black Sabbath, and
they're like, "Who's Black Sabbath?" And honestly,
respectfully,
his reaction, I'd been like, "Fuck you too."
Yeah, he throws a cup at him. He's like, "Fuck out of here."
You don't know who Black Sabbath is? Go home and see your mama. I don't need you here.
It was so fun. That part was hilarious. I like that a lot. And then that's when Scooby come in. Jess, he gives him the gun. Yeah. He also tries to give her like a knife thing.
I gotta tell you, his bedroom.
Did he remind you of something?
Is laid out how I want the house to be laid out.
Like just a bunch of
secret gun compartments everywhere. And I've looked at those things where, like me and certain people in the house would have
like
the rings that would open up.
Yeah.
And you go by it, and you could open it, and bam, here comes an AR so you can protect yourself. Mm-hmm. Or bam, here's the pistols. I've looked at those. And as he was going around his room, I'm like, oh man, that's what I want.
My favorite one.
That's awesome.
My favorite one was the stereo one. I like the stereo one. That one was great.
It looked like a classic 80s boombox with a tape deck and everything.
Nobody would think.
No. You lift it up and it was what did you say? It was
45 Magnum. Or 40, yeah.
I'm like, dude.
And then he has the thing under his dresser that's where the AR was. And
it pops out.
That's where he gets the pistol that he gives them.
Dude, I was jealous of that movie. I was.
I mean, it makes sense, especially his dad being the firearm dealer around there. Like, it makes sense that he would have all that stuff there.
Eventually. When we can all have dreams, right?
And, he wishes him luck, and he says, hey, try to live so you can give me my gun back.
Well, but he knows what's going on because he understands that people have died. So he knows that, shit's going on. That's why he's like, here, take this gun, protect yourself, but live so you can give it back.
Yeah.
Yeah, because guns are not cheap. Mm-hmm. Especially, he gave them, what was it, SIG?
I think it was a 6 Sawyer. I don't know.
It was a 6 Sawyer, I think.
It was like a 9mm. It didn't look like it was anything like huge like the other two.
Well, it wasn't a compact. It was a full size, but he gave them a gun.
Yeah.
And not cheap.
Yes.
It was at least $500. I'll say that.
That's when they get in the car. They're off. I don't know where exactly they're going at that moment, but they get distracted.
They get a phone call, don't they?
Julia. Yeah, Julia. And
Julia.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to call it.
And poor girl. Poor girl. Insane, too, because there's the moment where she walks out from the bathroom and going to her room, and he's right there. She just noticed him. but he's right there. He's like right on the left.
Well, and it's something like that. I talked with Joel, my buddy over at Retro Movie Geek podcast.
Mhm.
In horror movies, people lose their peripheral vision.
Mm-hmm.
The last movie I covered with him was Jason 6, which we saw at the movie theater.
Oh yeah, okay.
And this whole time where that one girl's walking down the hall, Jason's walking with her, but she never sees him. No peripheral vision.
Yeah.
Horror movies, people lose peripheral vision. It doesn't exist.
They lose everything. And she's about to lose her hearing, too.
Oh, my gosh.
Poor
Corn
girl.
cob. Look, anybody that grew up in the Midwest, Mid-Northwest, whatever the hell it's called now.
Same time. I've seen those things at Dollar Trees. Like, it's those little things with some
Look,
stick.
I grew up with these things because I lived in corn country. I grew up in corn country in Ohio. So whenever corn season came in, we always had sweet corn was like, it was everywhere. You could get sweet corn for like 50 cents an ear. We always had a huge corn boil off, and we had these little corn shaped things that we stuck in the ends so we could eat it.
And not having to put your hands on it, yeah.
Yeah. Not get your hands all hot and burnt and buttery and all that shit. Oh, this poor girl.
And she just gets some. It's funny, too, because she's cleaning out her ears before having.
Yeah.
And she drops.
I know.
She,
honestly, when that happened, when she was cleaning out her ears with the Q-tips, I'm waiting. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
is he going to shove Q-tips in her ears?
Well, you know what I thought was going to happen? She kept, like, putting her eye with the contact. I thought, like, finger was going to get stabbed.
That took forever. First thing, she had her contact in her finger, and she's like, they showed it up close, and her dad says something, and she gets up. I was like, you're going to lose your fucking contact. Just put it in your eye. But she walks around, does everything, comes back. I thought something was going to happen to her eye, too.
Yeah, but it didn't. And then before obviously he gets up to her room, he has like a tranquilizer gun.
Yeah, and that's odd because I thought that he was.
Well, think about
it. I was surprised by it. I'll just say that. I was surprised by that.
I mean, based on what happens at the end, it makes sense he wouldn't want to kill the cop.
Yeah.
And it definitely makes sense he wouldn't want to kill, like, it seems he only wants to kill the people that are actually responsible for, what he thinks happened. And nobody else, he doesn't actually try to kill anybody else. It's only those people.
Till later on.
Well, no. I mean, like, the people he's going after are still those people.
Well, he does mutilate the people that were directly responsible for what happened.
Yeah.
And you're right.
Oh,
everybody else was kind of like.
I don't know about Grandpa, though. I don't know what he did. We'll get to him, though, in a minute.
Whatever.
But, yeah, she gets stabbed in her ears, and they're on the FaceTime call, so they see that happening. And so they're,
oh my gosh,
they're freaking out, driving the car to her house. And they pull up, they get there, and they find.
That's right. The cop's not dead. Her dad's not dead. They're tranquilized.
Yeah, they got the.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So that right there is a hint.
Yeah, about what's happening. But
about what's
now
on.
I didn't really think about that until later on. But yeah, that's clearly he's not killing those people. But they run in. He's got the gun. Didn't turn the safety off, but he's got the gun. He's running in there, and the guy's got the John Carver guy's got Julia up by the neck with a knife, and he's slowly walking backwards, like while he's got the gun pointed at her, and he doesn't want to shoot through her, but he finally decides, I'm going to shoot, and he clicks the trigger, nothing, because he has the safety on, and because of that, he's trying to.
This is one thing, Kelvin. Gun safety throughout the years.
Yeah.
Throughout this movie, and I understand, like Jessica's going throughout the movie. Later on, when she gets a gun, she's got her finger on the trigger the whole time. And I'm like, oh, girl, stop. Take your finger out. And I notice those things now. I'm like, Get your finger out the trigger now. You don't put your finger on the trigger because you're going to.
Since I was like 14, once I started actually learning about gun safety, that's all I notice in movies whenever it's like, idiot, you're going to kill yourself.
Yeah. And so when he starts shooting at this killer, it doesn't go off. Well, first of all, when you have a gun and it has a safety feature and you click it, it's usually right there. You just
do it. But he doesn't know. He's never fired a gun.
And I understand that. And that's why Jessica, she said earlier in the movie, she's like, they fire off a blunderbuss, which is an old school firearm gun. And they make it very clear that nobody has any experience with guns.
Yeah.
And still, the whole time I'm like, you should have learned.
Yeah, you should have for this situation.
You should have learned. And that's exactly why I have learned.
Yeah, no, and it really sucks too, because again, like if he was knowledgeable, you would walk into the scenario. The moment I walk in the doors when I'm taking the safety off, because I see two bodies down there. I'm like, yeah, okay, let's get ready.
Finger off the trigger.
Yeah.
Safety's off, and you're waiting.
Just do the the old side thing. That's what. But and you just wait.
But no.
But yeah, he doesn't. Yeah.
But he doesn't know. I mean, and I get that. They're high school kids.
Yeah.
They haven't been raised around that. They don't understand that.
Poor Julia, because she just gets pushed forward right into a buzzsaw. This one and the grandpa we'll get to later. Those are the two that messed me up.
This Julia scene. Oh my gosh.
Poor girl.
It turns on this. It's a table saw, is what it is, and turns it on.
Pushes her right on it.
And just, well, you can imagine what happens. I mean, and now you got to remember, Scuba. They call him Scuba because his last name was Diver.
Yeah, his last name was Diver or Diving.
Or something like that.
First name was like Claude, and this cop was like, "Yeah, Scuba's better."
Scuba's better. So, and Julia is his girlfriend. So when he has the gun and he's out there pointing it at a killer, Julia drops on the saw. Blood goes all over him.
Yeah,
blood, guts, and shit and piss all over him. He drops the gun. He's like, "Oh, whoa!"
I did like this acting moment for him because like he's not like
he's just Jess, what do I do? What do I do?
In shock. Like he's not crying. He's just like he's in shock by what just happened, and he's just sitting there and he's like he doesn't know what to do. And a moment afterward, all sitting on the couch, the whole family, the cops there, a bunch of the cops are there, and that's when they decide that they're gonna go throughout with the parade, and they're gonna try to make the place at the end where they're gonna get to the place where all the parade floats are look empty.
At first they said like, no.
At first they're not gonna do it at all. Yes, you're right.
Fuck the parade. We're not doing it.
But Jess is like, what about Evan? What about Gabby? Like they're not saying, they're not safe.
We need to get this guy. So they come up with this whole scheme. All right, you guys are rich. You guys are gonna have a float in the parade for the what is it?
Right Mart.
Right Mart. You got an S.
Yeah, so did I.
Right Mart. Right Mart's gonna have a parade out there. Go out there and be on the float. And what we're gonna do is, because anybody that doesn't know, whenever there's a parade, all the floats congregate in one place to begin.
Yeah, it's like a warehouse in this scenario.
And it usually is a warehouse.
Yeah, I feel like that makes sense.
And they end in a similar.
I only know that
place.
because of both this and Jingle All the Way.
And they usually end in a similar type of place. So they come up with this plan was like, okay, we'll get on your float. Whenever you guys come back in the back end, when the parade's over, we're going to have a whole bunch of police, snipers, whatever the fuck's there.
Yeah, ready there. And because it's a perfect trap for him because they're the bait. And the moment they're all in a car.
But the killer had other plans.
Yeah. And he did something so smart in this.
I got to say, wicked clowns.
Looks straight up like the killer clown like mask. It looked like that.
It does.
But honestly, as soon as I saw that clown, I knew because I'm like, it doesn't add up with anything else here.
Yeah, he stands out. I mean, there's clowns for like a circus, but the clown looks different.
Yeah, they're like clowns. Yeah, they're like,
you see this guy, and I saw them walking around earlier, and I'm like, that's killer clown from outer space.
Yeah, I really did.
He stands out, but we also learned that he does stand out. In fact. And something we learned earlier, actually, it was one of the guys that, what did he do earlier?
He was also, I think he was the other person that was at the Right Mart and accidentally killed her.
At that time?
Because it was two people. It was Lizzie and it was another person that were like smashing against each other.
We learned later on, we also learned back then that he was the school mascot. He dressed up in a squirrel out. Was it turkey?
It was turkey. Yeah.
Turkey.
Because they're Plymouth. Yeah.
So, that makes sense. I'm retarded.
But, and man, he's just walking around on the parade.
This axe is sharp.
It really is, man.
This axe is sharp.
Brings it. So insane. Like
he throws all these smoke bombs out everywhere.
Oh, that too. Yes, he does. Yeah.
It's kind of confused people. People are like, what the fuck's going on?
Cuts the dude's head off.
He brings the axe off. His head, what you see is a big turkey head rolling.
But you see the innards.
And then you see the
sloppy Joe looking.
Just spurting out blood. And everybody screams and everybody
you see a kid look at it. He starts freaking out. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And
this is pandemonium.
Yes.
Pandemonium.
But that moment, Grandpa breaks where he's taking the truck.
So anybody that's been in a parade knows how the parade works, right? We have floats, cars, and people that walk. And everybody has to be in motion the whole way through, or shit doesn't work out. It's how it works. okay, if you see a
by the
light,
way,
you got to stop.
I forgot. They did get stopped a little earlier, too, because I can't remember his name. The guy who was married to the lady who died. The guy who worked at the Right Mart. I can't remember his name. His name was...
That was Mitch, wasn't it?
Yes, Mitch Collins. He stops right in front of the parade to do a little... tiles.
Oh, yeah. He's like protesting.
Yeah. He has the signs up.
He's like, no, fuck Right Mart, fuck them.
And they break, and it's fine.
Well, and it's fine because, it's understandable because his wife got killed the previous year.
Yeah, it's a peaceful protest. Like,
he just goes out there. The police clear him out, they're like, okay, and the parade goes on.
And then that's when I think at that moment, that's when the
smoke, and you do see smoke. Maybe, I can remember seeing smoke before all this started happening. A little bit of smoke, not a lot.
I think he throws him out, and that's when he slices the head.
He has that axe.
Mm-hmm.
This motherfucker. Now, mind you, when they settled Plymouth was in the 1600s, wasn't it?
Yeah.
1600s?
It's old axe.
That's an old axe.
He sharpened it up nice, though.
He sharpened it really fucking good because he slices through this turkey costume and manages to get the guy's head cut right off.
And then at that moment, that's when Grandpa freaks out. He breaks in the truck that's holding the ship for the Right Mart people. And all our main characters are in there. And so when he breaks...
We say Grandpa because he's got grandkids next to him.
Yeah, right next to him.
This movie is fucked up.
So he breaks. And the ship, I think it was attached to something on it so it wouldn't move. But because he breaks so hard, it broke off that. And the mass of the tip of the ship goes right through the window and just right through his head.
Now we're dealing with Plymouth. So we have the old school ships and built out of wood, and they had that mast. I don't even know. Is it called a mast?
No, because the mast is the thing that holds up.
It's like a big long piece of fuck-sucking wood that comes off the front of it.
Yeah.
And sometimes they put
they put a figurehead there,
something on there.
This is just a giant wooden pole.
This is a float, so they're not going all extravagant. This is big wooden pole that they have attached to their float.
Yeah, right in the front.
Goes right through Grandpa's head.
Dude, and his nose is hanging up the top.
Yes, I noticed that. You had the piece of wood. They purposefully go back.
Yeah, they go back I think twice because you also see the girls screaming and they're going, Grandpa.
They have blood sprayed all over them.
It's so bad.
And he's sitting there with his nose hanging off to the side.
Yeah, that was the one that messed me up real good, dude. I think that was the most messed up death.
That was pretty bad.
Yeah. And so while this is all happening,
that was pretty fucking bad.
It's weird. They're all heading off the ship. Nobody thinks to grab the two girls that are getting blood drenched all over them. They're just screw this.
Well, it's pandemonium. And
at that moment, they're just trying to get
if you're related to those girls, you're thinking about getting them out.
Yeah.
If you're just on a float.
And also, I think at the moment, the cops are trying to get them away because they're the ones that are going to get killed. They're the ones being chased.
Well, because they're working on that puzzle, which was the picture.
And
get them into the car.
Yeah, so the cop gets all our main characters into the car, and before he gets
the three
four,
main
it's four.
Is it four?
So we got the stepmom, the dad, Scuba.
Oh yeah,
and Jess.
The stepmom.
Yeah.
The stepmom. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they got all four of them into one police car because the police officer or the sheriff was his sheriff.
No, it was just a random cop. It was a random cop.
It was going to get him out. Nope.
And hey, again, it's a tranquilizer. He shoots the cop, tranquilizes the cop.
Well, and this is a hint.
Again, another one.
Why is he not killing?
Everybody. He's only going after these specific people.
Certain people he's killing. Not just killing, certain people he's
massacring. He's
really, he's mutilating them,
But then, the cops and then that lady's dad, he's just
tranquilizing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So he gets in the car, he tranquilizes all four of them, and then he drives off in the cop car. With his big clown shoes.
He's got the Killer Clowns from Outer Space mask. Mm-hmm. I don't really know if it is, but
it looks like it.
If it is,
it looks
cool.
Like it.
And yeah, he drives off with the clown feet, clown shoes, speeds off. Cool.
And now, we're at a house, and you see some good old cranberry sauce getting made. Is what it looks like.
Well, that's what I thought it was at first as well.
I knew immediately what was happening at the moment. She's laying down and she has all the the vegetables around her. I'm like, yeah.
And this is Karen Cliche.
That's a funny last name.
Kathleen.
Kathleen, yeah.
And this is the stepmom that buzzed into the Wright family.
Yeah. She's the one that deleted the security footage. Yeah.
She's the one that wanted to be open on Thanksgiving Day.
Yep.
When he was mixing something up, at first I thought it was cranberry sauce as well. But then at the next scene, I'm like, that wasn't cranberry sauce. That was like butter. Or it was some kind of seasoning or something like that.
He's got one thing on the stove, and it is the cranberry sauce. But he already has another thing on the side that is that butter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and because he has it in like a little jar, and that's when he starts spreading her with the butter.
So we have this Karen Cliche who plays Kathleen in the movie. She's knocked out.
Yeah,
for all intents and purposes. And he has this brush, and he's brushing her with
now.
Later we can assume it's butter.
Yes.
But,
and now he thinks she's knocked out, but we know that she just woke up. She just got up.
she's looking at him.
Yeah, she's like,
and little by little, they pan back a little bit, and you see like a little the decorative
like potatoes and yams around her,
apples and stuff around her, and then he's putting like sprigs of parsley on her,
salt,
but and it's coarse salt, mind you.
Yes,
it's not your average everyday table salt. It's coarse salt. He's sprinkling all over her, and you know what's going to happen.
You see him walk over to the oven. He puts his mask on there, lets it burn a little bit for the effect. To make, burn mask.
Whenever you're dressing something like that, you know what to.
Yeah.
You're gonna cook it.
Yeah,
you know that before it even goes to the oven.
Yeah, for sure.
And
poor lady, man.
This. If we talk too much about her, we're gonna skip around.
Yeah, this was one of my favorite scenes, though. I liked it a lot because I liked her slowly trying to get out. Like her hiding in different places and like
her struggle, struggle to get out.
And there's a moment where she finally gets upstairs and she's in the fridge, and that cheerleader girl's still in there alive, bleeding out.
I'll be back.
Yeah,
come back.
And she closes it. But she won't get the chance to go back because she's running out the door, and this whole time he has a pitchfork chasing her.
A pitchfork.
And he spear tosses it, and it lands right in her back, and he drags her.
This is a thing as well. And one of the things I've learned from loving Jason Voorhees in Friday the 13th movies is that you always count the number of prongs that are coming off your pitchfork. Because there's a scene in Friday the 13th where they show it in the scene. There's 3, but when he throws it, there's 4.
Yeah.
So I'm counting when
he's holding it normally.
He's throwing this. Well, there's 4, and when it hit her, there was 4. She shouldn't be alive.
Oh, like whenever he's dragging her down there.
When she's in the oven and everything, she shouldn't be alive anymore.
Yeah.
But
I mean, she dies pretty quickly though in that oven.
Yeah, I wasn't pretty because they say she's been cooking all day. How long would it take if you're in an oven? Now, if you're cooking a turkey all day long, or any kind of piece of meat, if you're cooking it all day long, you're at probably about 250, 300 degrees.
Yeah, but I feel like because
how long would that take you to die?
I will say, because I don't know, it looks like she's dead when the thing pops open when it's ready.
Is that a tippy top?
It's supposed to look like a. Yeah, it's supposed
That's the first time I've ever seen something like that.
It's supposed to look like a drink. I don't know why, but yeah.
That interesting. And I'll tell you in a minute.
Okay.
I'll tell you after we're done.
Okay. But it popped open. It pops open. So I think, but she already looked dead when it popped open, like the thermometer thing. So I think she'd been dead for a little bit.
Well, while she's cooked, so he takes
Kathleen
and puts her in this huge ass fucking oven.
Enough to fit a human being.
And then, and she's tall. She's not.
No, she's not. Yeah, she's not a short lady.
She's like 4 foot.
She's got like a model figure. Like she's like a tall. Yeah.
And he opens the door and he jams something in her shoulder. And we watched the movie. I was like, that's one of those
thermometer things. Yep.
And anybody that has made a turkey for Thanksgiving knows that they come with these things in them that when they're done, this little red thing pops out. And as we're watching the scene, actually, as she heats up, this little red thing pops out.
It's like, all right, she's done.
She's done. And she actually becomes part of the Thanksgiving feast.
Yes, because we see Jess waking up and she's at the table. and you see her dads who are they're all strapped with what's called oh, by the way, I forgot to mention this. Before the parade happens, McCarty, one of the the stoner guy who gives him a gun, he goes up and gives her a ring that her dad had from Iraq, and it said
this might help you, or it brought him luck.
Luck, yeah, because he said this is the thing that kept him alive while he was over there.
But she doesn't know that there's a blade in it.
She doesn't realize. While she's sitting down on the ropes, she's just messing with her, trying to get out,
fiddling with that ring.
And it opens, and a blade comes out.
A little blade. And now, mind you, it's a ring that's on your finger, so the blade that comes out is very small.
But it'll work. It'll do the job they need to get done right now.
Especially because the killer is long-winded and likes to talk about what's going on.
Yeah, yeah. And I think we get at least one kill when this is happening. First, he grabs the phone. He's going around asking what people are thankful for.
Oh, yeah.
Goes to Evan first. He's like, it makes sense.
Hold on. This is why it's important that it takes place in the current times, because this whole time he's live streaming. And earlier he's live streaming, but he had set it up because he knew that the police were going to track it. So he set it up that some cell phone was watching actually a monitor.
And that monitor was the thing that was actually live streaming from the phone inside of where they were at.
So that's why it's important that it happens
now,
current
instead
times.
of like in the 80s, because you need modern technology to do all this.
In the 80s,
especially with the ending. When we get to the ending, but he reveals to all of them what's the gigantic thing in the middle of the table, and is
because it's covered up.
It's
covered up with a
sheet,
sheet, whatever, a white sheet.
Moves it off and is her.
Now, what do you do when you buy a turkey? And you put it on the center of the table for Thanksgiving dinner. There's no head.
And you also make its legs look pretty. And you put them up.
The legs are crossed or stuffing inside of it. And the arms, the legs are pointed inwards.
This guy's crazy, man. This guy's insane.
This is
he
Kathleen.
He methodically did all of this.
He cooked Kathleen.
Stuffed her.
To a point. Stuffed her. Pulled her out. Cut her head off. And put her in the center of the table. Dude,
I feel so bad. The dad vomits while he's got that mouth covering.
And the people that are alive have they're gagged.
Yeah, they just have some
So they show the dad, her husband. He starts throwing up, and it's just
just all over.
It's just coming out everywhere.
And so that's when John Carver's like, all right, so time to get this started.
Get it done.
And so he grabs the phone. He's like, we're gonna go around, ask what people are thankful for. And he's like, you know what? It makes sense, Evan, that you should be the first, considering you're the one that kind of inspired me to make my own live stream, because he's the one that filmed the whole thing in the first place. And so
now Evan is the dick boyfriend.
He's the only character
that stood up on the countertops
and filmed
during the original riot and filmed it.
Yeah. And so by the way, this is the only character in this whole movie I didn't feel bad for at all. This is the one I was like, you know what? Let him die. Who cares? He's a dick. Yeah, and so he grabs him. He grabs you. Now you called it a waffle hammer.
Well, because early on, everybody was in the first riot. Everybody wanted the waffle maker.
Yeah, the waffle irons. Yeah.
And that's what they look like.
Yeah, they had those.
So when he picked up that hammer, the face of the hammer looked like that waffle thing.
Yeah,
waffle maker.
Now I don't know if it is exactly that. If he did that on purpose, I also just think it's a cool looking hammer. But he lays him down on the table.
Oh my gosh!
And his head splits open like a watermelon.
But he keeps hitting him.
Yeah, he does it even by the first one.
He's live streaming it.
Oh, and people are liking it.
Yeah, and what's worse, that he's actually smashing the guy's head in, or that people are liking it
and then saying is this guy actually dead? In the comments, if you read it,
he's smashing, he's hitting the guy, and you pan back and you see a view from the phone, and you see brain.
Yeah, just yep,
brain.
And it's one of those weird things too, because part of our society now is the internet, and if someone
a major part of the society now is the internet.
Been on the internet ever since I was a child. It's weird because there's a weird, I don't know if it has to do with film, I don't know what it is, but there's a weird desensitizing of violence whenever you see it on a screen, because I don't know what it is. People will send you stuff on the internet that's Just a random example I can think of that happened recently. Me and my friends got on like a Twitter argument with somebody stupid, and basically at the end of the argument, this guy's like, "Okay, fine." He says his last thing, and he posts a video, guy blowing his brains out. Now we knew who this guy was because he was a Twitch streamer, killed himself on live stream. Like we knew the story. I never seen that clip, and he posted it, and the guy thought it was a funny joke. That it was he never did something. But I'm like, we were all messed up because I was like, just saw a man blow his head off. I'm like, Jesus. Yeah. So that was one of those weird things too. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of true. A lot of people do get desensitized to that weird like violence of. But still, it's like you're watching somebody get their head smashed. It's a little different for me anyway.
Yeah.
But
well, and I think what am I considered Gen X?
You?
Yeah.
I think you're millennial.
No.
Aren't you?
I'm a Gen.
I think my mom's a millennial.
Yeah. I'm a Gen Xer. And I was one of the people that grew up with all this violence.
Movies and stuff, yeah.
And everything. And I was one of the people that I grew up with one of these was like, you know what? You don't fuck with Gen Xers because they grew up with coming home with nobody home. And we learned to cook for ourselves. We learned to raise ourselves. We did all this shit.
And you guys were watching Terminator at the age of 5.
I was watching Evil Dead at the age of 7.
Yeah. But it's way different, in my opinion, when it's something fictional and then when it's something real. When it's a real person. Like, because in their world, it's a real person getting their head smashed. You know what I mean?
I know we're veering off the actual.
Yeah.
But it's just like, what did that stuff affect me adversely, or did it prepare me more for dealing with stupid bullshit?
Yeah.
I mean, watching The Evil Dead at 10 years old. I mean, watching, I grew up watching these horror movies that are everybody loves now. Evil Dead, the whole Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Hellraisers. I grew up watching those way before I would let any of my kids watch it. Mm-hmm. But did that make me a better person? Or I don't think it has any effect.
Same thing for me, like whenever it's like there's a huge argument whenever there's like a school shooting or something happening, like violence to video games, it's like there's that, and I never see that make sense to me because like as someone who was raised playing like Call of Duty and stuff like that, like I play
Call of Duty all the time too.
Yeah, exactly. I never like shot up like killed people in a game and thought, you know what, this would be fun to do in real life. You know what I mean? Like
I think.
Yeah, no, we are veering off.
It's okay. It's okay. Because I think people listen to this podcast know that I watch movies and I'll say things how I feel about it. Yeah. And so it's not a big deal. But there comes to a point when you got to take responsibility for your own actions.
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. You can blame it on your parents. You can blame it on video games, on movies, whatever.
But you're the person that did that thing.
You did it.
Yeah.
So it's your fault.
Mm-hmm.
I watch horror movies. I've watched horror movies since I was fucking 7 years old.
Mm-hmm.
7 years old. And I grew up watching horror movies at the epitome of when horror movies were the best.
Yeah, when they were at their peak. Yeah.
They were at the best. Practical. There was no CGI. There was no computer.
That's when you were getting
all CGI. When you watch a horror movie, you're like, was that fucking real?
Like The Thing. Like, yeah.
And I grew up, what I learned was that I needed to work harder was when I had a family. It had nothing to do with what games I was playing or what movies I was watching. Okay, I have kids. Those kids have to eat.
Yeah.
Those kids need to have diapers.
They need school books or whatever.
Yeah, it had nothing at all to do with video games or movies. Nothing of that bullshit. Was what I could do in my outside life. We're getting off.
Yeah, no, we started driving off.
Yeah, we started.
Not bad. That was a
good lesson that a lot of people need to learn.
Yeah.
A lot of people need to learn.
Yeah.
Take responsibility for your actions.
Yeah. Don't be blaming whatever you did when you were 12.
Don't blame Biden. Don't blame Trump. Don't blame Obama. Blame yourself.
Now, there's plenty of certain scenarios where people get led to do bad things and you can see how the world around them got to them to that
point. That's your surroundings and how you accept your surroundings.
Exactly. And exactly, because there's some people that will take their surroundings and just sit in it and deal with it. But there are some people that don't like where they're at, and so they want to be better and they want to take themselves out of that scenario.
And we'll look at one of the biggest communists in our era, Bill Gates.
No.
He was nothing. He was a college dropout.
Yeah, well, him and Steve Jobs, they were both like college dropouts, yeah.
And they sat in their garage, and Steve Jobs made Apple. Bill Gates made
Microsoft.
They were nobody important.
Yeah.
They're nobody spectacular. They didn't have to finish. Let's stop this.
Yeah.
Because going on to a whole different come out podcast.
Okay. So
I
back.
don't even know where the hell we were at.
Okay,
Do you know?
Yeah. So back to Thanksgiving. Kevin's head just got smashed. He's all his head's like open like a watermelon. And
With the waffle iron.
Yes.
Hammer.
Yes. And all this is happening. That's when.
You remember that? I don't know if I remember that.
That's when she has the ring, and that's when she's cutting her ropes in
her rope.
And she also hands it to Scuba. Yeah. And while this is happening, while it's being handed to Scuba, the guy's like, "All right, so I think it's time to eat." And so
oh my gosh, that's right.
He goes to her leg,
clean,
and he cuts a
inner thigh.
Yeah, he gets
inner thigh.
He's her inner thigh, cuts it, and he gives it to the dad. And he says something about you love your consumers. It's time for you to do some consuming yourself. And he puts the thing on the plate, and I'm expecting he wants him to eat it or die.
Oh yeah, he does.
Yeah,
he does.
But he doesn't get to that point because Scuba grabs the chair, throws it at him, and that's when
they start breaking out.
Mm-hmm. The guy grabs the axe, starts chasing him down the hallway. At some point, they figure out they're at the Carver house.
Well, there's one scene that I think is important. Once they get out to a certain point here, and the killer swings the axe, and Scuba goes down, and Jess keeps on running. Killer runs after Jess.
Yeah,
that's integral. That's very important because we learned that Jess is more important
to this guy than
than anybody else.
Yeah,
because he's running after Jess. Now Jess is running around. Now she's always had this bracelet on her wrist. Is it?
It's like her mom's or something.
Yeah, her mother. Picture of her mother and her inside the heart. It's a cliche. We've all seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Blah, 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 blah. Whatever. But as she's jumping over this fence to get away from the killer, it gets snagged on the fence.
Yeah, top of the fence.
Now, I thought at this point here, she lost it.
Oh, when she fell down? Yeah.
But
so did I.
Find out later on she didn't.
Yeah, she still has it, yeah. Or I thought something happened to her hand, but it was fine.
The killer's right behind her.
When she falls, she also busts her ankle.
Yeah. She twists her ankle a little bit.
Yeah.
And I could have sworn at this point here that Jess was more important. And this lent credence to my original thought for her. I thought that I don't want to give it away yet.
Yeah.
The killer was the killer.
Yeah. You were figuring out who it was.
I figured it out early on.
I didn't. I didn't put it together until it happened. I had other thoughts, but she gets over the fence and she's running along, and she finally gets to the warehouse where the floats were, and in front of it she sees the cop car and the sheriff. The sheriff is right in front.
And this was another big gimme.
Yeah.
To my view, what I thought.
Again, so he's knocked out. He's on the ground, and she looks up and she sees somebody in the John Carver in the suit running in, and so she grabs the 45 or whatever.
44.
Yeah. She grabs his gun, goes in there. This is a weird scene for me because the way they shot it makes it look like he saw her. Like when he turns and you see the
it
makes it look like he
definitely looks like he saw her,
but he didn't. Like they don't say because he turns around.
Well, I think he did because we learned that it was Bobby.
No, I know, but think about it. Like
is that Bobby?
Yeah, no, that's his name. Think about it. Like in his thing, he's in that mask, in that outfit. You don't think he would go to her and explain, "Hey, this just happened"? Like he, because we find out later what happened to him.
Yeah.
I don't think he actually saw her. It was just the way that shot. It made it look.
Yeah, it made it look like he did.
But he takes off the mask and we see it's Bobby, and you're like, "Oh crap, Bobby's the killer." That's great. And that's when the cop comes in, right behind her, grabs the gun, and was like, "Go outside," and goes to go chase him. She's right outside with where the gate is, and the door's right there. And a bunch of shots go off, and he runs back outside.
Now, I'm right away when Jess is inside this building and she's Bobby. Mm-hmm. Right away, I was like, "Nah, he's not," because they do show him taking off one of those masks, but he's also wearing like work overall.
Yeah, and
he's not wearing
balaclava.
He's not wearing the whole thing. He's wearing work overalls.
Yeah. He's also got a hoodie on, which the guy normally doesn't have a hoodie. And also he doesn't have
That's not him.
on.
That's not him.
Yeah. But so yeah, the sheriff is trying to shoot at Bobby, gets out the door, is trying to reload, and
This is what he says.
yeah, that's what he says. And then it cuts, all the cops are come, their cops or sheriffs come in, they're checking out the place and they can't find him. He ran away.
Yeah.
And so it's the sheriff, yes, the other new cop that came into town, and the detective, and they're all.
We forgot the new sheriff's deputy.
Yeah.
Forgot to mention him. He's not much of conversational.
No, yeah, he isn't. Yeah, he was also, he's one of those people that I was thinking at very first that it could have been.
And it's odd. This is him in there with
I think they
real.
I think they threw him in there as like another suspect, as another person you'd think could be it.
Yeah.
But they're in there and they say they found Bobby's phone. And they're putting the phone as evidence. Yeah. And
because it was so connected to the live stream.
Yes, exactly. So they're like, obviously it must have been Bobby then, because it was his phone. And so they, the cop and the detective are gonna go to the hospital, and they'll meet them there, the sheriff and the girl.
Yeah.
And so the girl's just in there. She says she needs a minute to, calm down. And he's like, yeah, that's fine. He goes outside, like wipes some napkin or something, wipe down his face. And he goes to go throw the napkin away. It drops. Yeah. And that's when she looks down and notices his feet. And his shoes. Because
beforehand, she was picking these things off for her leg.
And also
these little, we used to call them hitchhikers.
Yeah. They're like couch, I don't know, couch drops.
When you walk through the woods and you get these shits on you and you sit down, you're picking them off because they get into your shoe. They hurt like a motherfucker.
Yes.
She's picking them off, and this is when she looks down at his feet.
And earlier on in the movie, he had mentioned to her, it's the small things, it's the small things that get him caught. It's the small things you don't notice. And she looks down, and she sees a bunch of those all over his feet, just like when she was running through the forest. And I think she noticed also they're the same shoes. And so she, her face is shocked. She's freaking out, and he's like, what's wrong? He's like, I don't feel good. He's like, oh, okay. He turns around, ready to walk out, and he looks at his feet. And he's like,
oh, shit.
If only you weren't on that fence for a little longer.
Yeah.
And he closes the door, and that's when we find out it's the sheriff.
Yep. So the whole time, this whole fuck-sucking movie.
The sheriff.
It's the sheriff.
Yeah, he's been the killer.
It is. What's his name? Patrick Dempsey?
Yeah, Patrick Dempsey. Yep.
This whole time. And it turns out that the reason why
he's doing any of this
is because Gina Gershon. Now, go back to the beginning of the movie, and we're splitting up the classes again. Gina Gershon was married to
Mitch Collins, the guy who worked at the store, the Right Mart.
But the sheriff, Patrick Dempsey, had been having an affair with her. Apparently, she was pregnant.
Yeah, and she was going to leave him, and they were going to go off and live their life.
She was pregnant. They were going to leave off. They were going to go off and do their whole little cheating thing.
Yeah.
But she got killed.
Yeah.
Which in turn means the baby got killed.
Yeah.
Well, now Patrick Dempsey's pissed.
And it definitely makes a lot more sense now in the opening scene when he sees her and he freaks out and he shoots the gun.
And this is when, I didn't mention this earlier because I wanted to save it to the end.
Yeah.
But at the beginning of the movie, there's a point where all this ruckus and chaos is going on. Patrick Dempsey, the sheriff, stands up in the middle.
He sees her dead.
He sees her dead. He stands up in the middle of this value mart.
Oh, Right Mart. And his face is in shock.
He stands up and he just shoots his firearm.
And it goes red.
Goes red. Right then, now me being a horror freak, nerd, whatever the fuck you want to call him, I knew he's a killer because of that scene. Now we come to the end of the movie, and I was proven correct.
Yes. And you see, I had been thinking, honestly, the whole time, I've been thinking it was the other cop, the new one.
Yeah.
But I didn't, there was really no reason for him to do it, It made no sense. He came into town.
I got it. Through the whole movie, while the killer, whenever they showed the killer, I was looking at the killer. Okay, body, how's the body looking? What?
Tall? Is he short?
Is he tall? Yeah.
Is he lean? Is he muscular?
But I'm like, there was a point where I even thought that it might have been the rich boyfriend.
Oh, yes, the tall one. Yeah.
But I'm like, no, it's got to be the cop. It's the cop. It's the cop. The whole time.
Indeed, the cop.
And indeed, yeah.
And so he starts, doing his old classic villain diatribe. He starts telling her why he's doing all of this, why he, his whole reasoning.
Yeah. Well, as much his reasoning.
Yes.
It doesn't have to make sense.
No, but that's the reason why he did all this. And so he's, getting ready to finally finish her off. And she says, wait, you forgot to ask me what I was thankful for. And
Because it's Thanksgiving.
yes. And he's
It's
like, what are you thankful for? And she picks up a phone that she's been filming with him this whole time, live streaming. And she says, I'm thankful that the self-service here is so great.
Yeah. So everybody, and the bad thing is that just like earlier when he was killing, there was so many likes. So when she does it, there's so many likes.
Yeah.
Everybody is liking.
Yeah.
There's thumbs up everywhere.
At least this time, it's good. He's getting caught.
I don't know. If I'm watching something live streaming, I'm like, if I don't know if it's real or not,
Yeah.
I'm not going to like it.
Yeah, true.
Especially if it's somebody getting slaughtered. I'm not going to like it. I'm not. I'm just going to be like, these are fucking idiots.
But yeah, he catches her red-handed, or she catches him red-handed. Got proof now, like
Yep.
said everything. And so he's like, all right, time to kill you. And right before he can, get at her,
Yeah.
Bobby has a hammer in his hand,
This motherfucker.
and he tosses it and hits him in the head through the window.
She is so lucky.
She really is.
She is so lucky.
But yeah, he tosses it, hits him in the head, and she grabs he grabs her, and they're running out. And there just happens to be obviously a handy fire axe on the wall.
Oh,
So-
it's handy.
Yes.
It's handy.
And so he grabs it. Sheriff, he grabs it. He starts chasing after him. Finds him in like this. He's getting close to him. Like they're all like near these clothes hangers. And Bobby, being the smart kid he is, he grabs something, throws it, and so he
Distract him.
clatter, and he hits over there.
Yeah.
And find their Bobby's like uncle's truck. They try to get in it, get it started.
God, this whole scene, I'm going to tell you right now, was I was on the edge of my seat. I'm like, you mother, get in that truck and go.
She could.
I'm
She
like,
couldn't
oh
get
my
in the
God.
door.
She can't, because whoever parked this
The
fucking
idiot.
truck, parked so goddamn close to this, she can jumps in the back. Fine, get the fuck out.
Yeah, they start driving away.
Why in the fuck is your cable
Still on there?
hanging out?
And the cable's hanging. So the sheriff's like,
That's like walking into a store with your dick hanging out. Hey, anybody, whatever. If you have a fucking tow truck, you don't just leave your
the
cable
cable on.
hanging out.
but they did. The uncle did, I guess.
Oh,
And so they're getting away in the truck, and Sheriff sees the cable, so he wraps it around this like pillar, and they're stuck. They're not able to
Yeah.
get. They're getting out.
So the sheriff's getting one up on him.
Yeah.
He's like, I got you guys,
Oh,
motherfucker.
that's
we
it.
forgot the.
Just before she gets in the truck, she sees the inflatable turkey, and so she
Fucking turkey.
and so she lets off the
And the canister on the side of the turkey says flammable.
gas, or yeah, and so she lets it off and lets it start filling up.
All right. So hold on. Let's address that real quick. First of all, they do not inflate,
Look,
float balloons or whatever
like helium.
with flammable
Yeah.
air. It doesn't happen.
It's like a machine that like it's like just a machine that like vacuums it, like
Yeah.
air in. Like it's not.
It's like hot air.
Yeah,
Right.
it's not.
They don't. There's no flammable. But for the sake of
For the
this
sake
movie,
of this movie, it is.
it's flammable.
Yes, and so
The turkey's huge. Huge.
and so he's he gets on her. He tries to stab her with the axe, and she has the gun. She has the blunderbuss, and she blocks it.
On their bus. Those things are fucking off.
Yeah, gets him back, and he's backed up a little bit, and so she starts filling it with the gunpowder. And while she's filling it with gunpowder, she tries to go for the pellets or whatever, the bullets, and a bunch of them drop.
Oh.
And so she's like, "Crap!"
When that happened, I was like, you fuck on my
Idiot.
ass.
He's like, "Crap! What am I going to use?" And she sees her mom's bracelet, and she's like, "Ah, perfect." So she takes it off, shoves it in the gun, and she says, gets her one liner. She aims at the turkey, not at him. She aims at the turkey, and she says, "You're right, Sheriff. There is no leftovers." And she shoots it.
Earlier on in the movie, he says
Yeah,
that.
he says that to her. Yeah.
Yes, there are leftovers. And I'm like, when he said that, I was like, that's it.
Yeah.
Sequel. That is, Jason has his, Freddy has his, nightmares, live forever thing. They all have it.
This guy's
is,
only Thanksgiving material.
there are no leftovers.
Yeah, she says it back. She shoots the turkey, and with all that flammable gas that's in there, it just blows up.
Now, they never find his body.
Yeah, the cops all come back.
Well, no, I'm sorry. What they say is that and it was so hot.
Anything that would have been in there would have been burnt to a crisp.
Yeah. But that tells you there's nobody.
Yeah, there's nobody. There was nobody in there.
And now, and this goes back to what I was telling you earlier. There are so many branches here that could lead to a sequel. A whole scene with the parade. How many people were traumatized at that parade with the beheading of the turkey?
Yeah,
kids. The grandfather was killed in the church.
There's a lot of other people that could take up the mantle of the kid. Yeah.
But the fact that they never found the body.
Yeah, he himself could still be out there.
He could still be out there. So we could still have a
Thanksgiving too.
Thanksgiving Day killer.
Yeah, and
there's somewhere.
I kind of do hope they go for a sequel because I will say
they will.
By the way, the movie's basically over. I mean, they're all cop car. All the main characters are at the hospital.
Everybody's fine.
And everybody's fine. We get one kind of like weird scene at the end where she's asleep with her boyfriend in bed, and the door opens.
Oh yeah, dreams.
Yeah, some dream sequence. He's on fire. And
but that's post traumatic stress. I mean, everybody will have that.
Mm-hmm. But the movie's basically over, and I gotta say, this right here is what I want in a slasher nowadays.
Well, I'm gonna go a little bit further because slasher movies aside, this is what I want for a Thanksgiving horror movie.
Yeah,
horror.
Yeah,
period. Because what did we cover last year?
Thanksgiving.
Gobble, motherfucker.
Thanksgiving.
I mean, I covered about 3 or 4 different movies last year for Thanksgiving. Some are good, some are decent, some are Thanksgiving.
That was a terrible film.
Thanksgiving by Eli Roth, 2023.
Yeah,
good movie. Good slasher movie. Good to carry on for the future.
Yeah, this is gonna be one of those movies now I could definitely see people pulling up on Thanksgiving. Like Halloween ended, you still kind of want a little spooky vibe. Throw that in, and it'll get you there because there's plenty great.
We'll definitely be playing that. Yeah, I can see this being a franchise.
Yeah, I can see them easily making more. Apparently, it did.
A current type of franchise because Michael. Everybody's tired of Michael and the Jason shit. Like,
it's only been out for the weekend, and it's already out of a budget of 15. It's already at 12.6 million. So it's gonna get there. It's gonna make its money back. Yeah.
And as long as it makes its money, Eli Roth is a horror.
See, and that's
done a lot of horror.
That's the beautiful thing about horror movies too. Is you can make it a low budget movie, but still make it work, and you get so much in returns. Because everybody likes a horror movie.
And this movie had the boost of being one of those
grindhouse trailers.
Trailers, yeah.
So a lot of horror fans wanted to see this finally get made.
Really wanted to see it, and in my opinion, it was good.
Yeah, no, it was a good slasher fic. I liked most of the characters, not all of them, but I liked the characters. I didn't want to see him die.
What was his name? Aaron?
Oh, Evan. Yeah, Evan.
Evan he was a dick.
But Scuba was the boy.
Scuba was good. Jess was good.
Yeah, Jess was good. Most of the characters, even like Killer, I liked his character too. I liked the sheriff's character. Like, it made sense, and I liked how like the whole time he was obviously like.
I think we kind of skipped past it a little bit. The reason why.
The sheriff. Yeah.
The reason why he came back to do the killing.
Oh, we covered that.
But we.
Yeah, well, you found out that he liked that lady.
He was involved with Gina Gershon, but she was pregnant.
Yeah. Talk about that.
I don't think we did.
We did. Definitely did.
She was pregnant.
Yeah, we definitely did.
Because he was pissed because
we talked about it.
They took his family away from him.
We talked about it at the reveal, like whenever she was live streaming. Yeah. But yeah, like I said before, this is a great slasher. I hope we get a sequel. I hope we get more.
I'm done.
Yeah. By the way, my drink's it's almost done.
I had half a jar of sweet tea moonshine, and it's gone.
We got like a couple sips left of the Voodoo Ranger.
Drink too much moonshine. It's real moonshine. It's not the shit you buy at the stores either.
Yeah, it's that good stuff.
But so peanut butter banana moonshine. What'd you think about that?
That was delicious. It's the best alcohol I've ever had in my life.
Nick Calo, good job, bud.
Yes, seriously. It's just like, because your apple pie to me, it just tastes like candy.
Yeah.
That one tastes like I was eating like a pie. Like I was eating like banana.
It was like peanut
butter banana pie.
When I drank that, when I was I was like, am I leaving today? Because if I keep drinking this, I'm not going home.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to get home.
So I was like, Nick, sorry, buddy. I know that's good stuff, but I can only taste today.
Yeah, delicious stuff.
He's a good guy. But that's it. that is this episode of Thanksgiving from 2023. Eli Roth. Damn good movie, in my opinion.
Yes.
Kelvin?
I loved it.
I think it was spectacular. I'm looking forward to what they bring back for 2024 Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
We'll see. Eli, I know you listen to my podcast, right? Kick it into gear, buddy.
Yes.
Yeah. And until next time, everybody have sweet dreams, love, peace, and chicken grease.
And no leftovers.
And that's going to do it for the day. Thanks for hanging out with me and letting me bend your ear for a while. Ain't no time for bad shine. And until next time, don't forget, you're wrong.
Later, Tater.
This concludes our broadcast day. Good night, and God bless America.